Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to the Annie and Mindy show. I'm Mindy Stern and I'm talking from Israel.
And I'm Annie Callis and I'm talking from Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah, welcome to the AM PM show and we're talking from both sides of the world. It's very cool. It's very cool. How you doing today, Annie?
I'm doing really good, really good. Other than a little bit of a bruise on a rib, but other than that, I'm happy. I'm great. I'm just looking at this. It's PM, so it's more getting into the evening, and I'm wearing black. And it's AM, and you're all bright with your scarf and a blue.
With my morning coffee, we were just talking about.
I should have made myself one before I got here. Let's have coffee with Annie and Mindy. So when you guys watching this, have coffee. If you're on that side of the world, then you can have a wine if you're on this side of the world.
Oh, I love that. Have coffee with Annie and Mindy. I love it. I love it. I love it. Or wine, even better.
We call it wine o'clock over here.
1 o'clock? And if we're going to do it like 5 hours later, I'd say have a whiskey. That might work too.
Yeah, we're moving into the whiskey clock. Yeah. So, what are we talking about today? Can I just share with you something?
Please.
Okay, so today, now, I don't know whether people know what we do. We did mention it a few times in our meetings, in our show, our meetings. We also have a million meetings, you and I. So, you're a finance and a marketing coach, and I'm a relationship coach. So today was all about relationships. And sometimes I sit here and I just wonder, people reach out and they want help, but then they have lots and lots of reasons. And I just sit here going, so they contacted me and they know that I can help, but then the resistance comes. And I know how to deal with that. But I just wonder why that happens. Tell me, you work, for example, with a lot of couples in your finance business. So when you have that initial call, do you speak to one, the other? Who approaches you? What happens?
I've got a lot of experience with this, and it happens that there's a lot of, I don't know how to say it. People know that things aren't right in their life. It's like a process. You're living your life. At some point, you go into some kind of routine, and a lot of people get stuck in that routine, whatever it is, whether it's waking up in the morning and going to school, or waking up in the morning and going to work, or taking care of the kids and going to work and coming home and having dinner and going to sleep. And, and then when you get into relationships, you get married, everything is nice, and then you have your relationship, and then you come into a routine. It becomes routine. And sometimes the routine is good and comfortable, and sometimes the routine is not so comfortable, but it's the routine that we know, so stay in it. Same thing with finances. Everything is good. You start working, earning a living, getting a bank account, getting credit, and then you get into this routine of really not being able to pay all your bills, or not being able to buy everything that you want to buy. So you get a little bit into debt, a little bit into credit, cover your credit, go, and that becomes a routine also. So what happens, I think, people get stuck in these kind of routines that aren't ideal, and they know deep down that it could be better. So you get to that point where it could be better, and then the question is, okay, what do you do? It could be better. If it could be better, this is my mom speaking. Of course it could be better. If I knew what to do to make it better, it would be better. But I don't know what to do, so you give up. I don't know what to do, so I can't do it. This is who I am. So that's it. And life goes on in the same routine, day after day, week after week, year after year. Does this sound familiar to you?
Yes.
You see it all.
I've been there.
I have too. But then what happens is, I think, at some point, not everybody it happens to, but at some point, some people say, I don't know what to do. But there are other people out there who are happier than I am. We're in the same type of situation, and are happier in whatever aspect it is, whether it's family, relationships, money, work. We're multifaceted people. And at some point you say, there must be a better way. And then you get to the point where you're willing to maybe be vulnerable, maybe be put in this position. I don't know something. What is everyone going to think about me that I don't know, and ask for help? That's a big issue that people don't ask for help, because what are people going to think about them? Maybe they're not as smart and as bright and as whatever successful as they're supposed to be. But they say, okay, I'm going to ask for help. So when you're talking about relationships, one person is at that place where he wants to break the routine and learn how to do it different. But the other person in the partnership might not be ready for that, might not be at that place, might be scared, might have a lot of little voice issues. You know, what does it mean about me that I'm not successful, that I can't do it by myself? I think most people have that issue with, you know, asking for help anyway. What is that? If I ask for help, what does that mean about me? You know, am I faulty in some way? But the truth is, and this is what I learned by my own experience, that there is a better way. If someone else is living a better, happier, more successful life that you want to live, and you see that they're doing it, then there's a way to do it. And all you have to do is really reach out to someone who knows. I mean, someone who knows. So when you have a couple that one wants it and one doesn't want it, there's got to be a way, maybe slowly, maybe step by step, maybe with some encouragement. I can give you some ideas a little bit later about things that I do, but to bring the other person to the point that he trusts enough the partner and the process to actually say, no, okay, I'm willing to go out of my comfort zone a little bit to break this routine, and with the hope, there has to be a lot of trust in that hope that, you know, things really can be better, that I can actually find someone that I can trust to help me make this, you know, better.
Well, you know, I mean, I guess I probably didn't start this conversation the right way, because I guess I'm not, to be quite honest, I'm not really struggling with it. It's more like sometimes I do wonder, and I you know, as a coach, I wonder, am I the only one who, and I'm sure I'm not, but you know, like we're talking and I'm going, well, am I the only one who experiences this? Clearly not, because, you know, you usually there's one person who approaches out of the couple who approaches and asks for help. And because, you know, like, you are my marketing coach, right? So you're teaching me on how to do it. And then I realized that if I speak to one, I have to speak to the other one too, because the both of them need to be on board to come and do the work, right? But you know what's really interesting, and I just had a moment, and a thought just came to me, that I've actually had a lot of men who contact me who actually really struggle in their relationships. They feel alone or lonely, or, you know, it's really interesting, even that word. I mean, we could digress on this, but today I actually looked up the word alone and lonely. A lot of people say I'm lonely, and the definition of lonely is somebody who's really sad and has no friends, and it's outcast. And you know, I used to say I'm lonely. I'm not lonely. And I'm not even alone, because you say, oh, I'm alone. I'm single, but I'm not alone. I've got friends, I've got family, and especially now that we've got the holiday season, you know, holiday season or Christmas or wherever you are, whatever you call it, you know, there's a lot of discussion that's going on out there in the ether about, oh, being single and being on your own on Christmas. You're not. Think about the friends and the family, and, you know, like, I've got family coming from Singapore, and we're doing Christmas with my former husband because we are a family. We have a child together. We don't need to break that. And then I'm going and having New Year's Eve with a girlfriend of mine who is with a partner, but we get on so well. So I'm thinking, through all these celebrations, I am not alone, and I'm not outcast. So it's like, wow, the meaning of the words. So I just digressed on that, but I hope that this was a bit of a golden thing to some people, that when they use the words and say, I'm really lonely. yeah, I'd like to have a partner. I'd like to be in love and somebody bring me a coffee on Sunday morning, or, you know, put his hand on the low of my back or whatever. Yeah, that would be nice. But I'm okay on my own, you know, and I want somebody to compliment me, not to be my, you know, the person that fills in a gap. No, no, that's up to me to do that. So that comes down to relationships also. So I have these guys coming to me and going, you know, I would just like a little bit more in my relationship, and, you know, and the kids and this and that, and they feel left out. And the many discussions that I had with men, I said, okay, well, it would be really cool. Thank you. I heard from you, but it would be really good to go and to speak to your partner now, because you got to come together. And then they come back and say, she doesn't want to. And I said, well, okay, to tell me about that. Why? Because we tried before and it didn't work. And I just go, okay, so who did you try before? And they've dealt with, psychologists and counselors, and like relationship counselors. And I have to explain that there is a big difference between these different, call it professions. And I know when I went to a psychologist with my former husband and a relationship counselor on numerous occasions with different people, and it didn't work for us. So when I started coaching, I started to understand different things. And I just really believe that if you constantly look at he said, she said, he said, she said, reliving the past, and but you did this and you did that and you did that, I think you lose the point that it's about looking at the now, living in today, the now, the moment now, and then building what you want in the future. Isn't that what you do with your finance coaching? Like, they spent the money. Okay, but what can we do now to go forward? And coaches, even if you look at sports coaches, they are there to help them fulfill on their goal of becoming a champion, right? So it's not they're going, so how was it before? And why didn't you win before? No. So it's really interesting. It's to actually be patient and to work with them and to give them the time and to earn their trust. I mean, that's what I'm thinking, you know. So, and also as a coach, and I'm sure if there's coaches that are listening to this, hopefully they relate, and hopefully we might share some stuff with them to say, don't give up, you know. And it's not a personal thing that I'm not good enough, I'm not a good enough coach. It's just giving these people the time to just say, okay, it's my time now. And give the partner, you know, work with let's say the guy or whoever approaches us, and work with them and help them know how to have a conversation and say, hey, this means a lot to me. Please just come on the call. It doesn't tie you to anything, you know. And that brings me to, I also spoke to a young girl who told her father, I don't want to speak to a counselor. I don't like them. The experiences that I've had, I didn't like them. Too painful. Because they go back to what's happened.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas when I coach, I just go, well, I don't go there. I don't talk, you know, about that unless it comes up in a coaching session, and then we address it. But I don't dig, oh, so what happened to you in the past? I don't do that. So I'm not sure. I mean, I can't really talk about counselors and psychologists because I really don't know what they do. I just know from my experience what was happening, and I really didn't want to go there. You know, I just want to know, how can we make this better? Fix it. You know, how can we make it better? So what's your perspective of what I just said?
I have a lot of things to say, Annie. Oh my God. No. So first of all, I think I want to give my thought about the difference between a psychologist, a counselor, or a consultant. which I think that they're pretty much the same thing, and a coach. From my perspective, it might not be the textbook definition, but I think it's pretty close to it. The psychologist wants to go to the root. What's the root of the cause of the emotion that's coming up? The root of the problem. So like you said, it's going into the history, and you analyze and you see, and try to solve or reframe things that happened in the past. Okay, so it's like you said, going in the past. A counselor, a consultant focuses on skills. Okay, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. They give you their expert advice. They learned about this stuff. They have expertise, and they tell you what to do. And a coach, and I like a coach. I'm a coach myself, and this is why I like it, is a coach is actually goal-oriented. The whole purpose of a coach, like a sports coach, like you said, a business coach, any kind of coach is someone who says, okay, what's your goal? The goal is in the future, right? What's your goal? And then they work on the steps to get to that goal. Now, what happens is, with coaching, which I really, really love, it's dynamic. It could be, I have an experience in life, right? Let's say a financial experience or a marketing experience, which is my experience. I know what worked for me, but what worked for me doesn't necessarily work for everybody else. I can't say that the skills are 100% for everyone across the board. But the beauty is, when I'm coaching someone, I am helping them build their own way, with coaching skills, with training skills, for them to find the thing that works for them and how to create a habit out of that, how to change their behavior according to what works for them to bring them always focused on the goal, focused on the future. So for me as a coach, it's really fun because it's different for everybody. The technique for coaching is the same, but the result, the answer, the solution for the person I'm working for is so unique to the person that I'm working with. So it's like a new day every day for me and for my clients, because they find the way that's right for them, that it fits like a glove, whether it be in their money, in their business, with you, I'm sure, in relationships. So you bring the coaching, has the coaching tools to help the client find the right way and support them in creating something that works for them for the long run. So not everyone understands that. So this girl, I don't want to go to a counselor. Well, okay, she doesn't want to go to a counselor because the ones that she spoke to didn't speak her language.
Yeah.
But when you work with a coach, at least a good coach, right? There could be people, I'm sorry to say, there are people out there who call themselves coaches who haven't been trained as coaches. And they're actually counselors using the nice word coach. So I would suggest that everybody interview the person that they're going to work with, because you really want someone who's going to coach you to go inside and bring the best out of you to get to where you want to go. But people don't understand that. And also with this relationship, he is in a place, I think, I don't know, I didn't speak with him, but it could be that he's in a place that he really needs help. He feels insecure in whatever it is, and he does not know what to do. He's kind of like lost. So it's really cool that he reached out. But maybe their relationship is not good enough. I mean, that's obviously the case, because that's why he needs a relationship coach. He wants to improve his relationship. He doesn't have the communication skills to work with his wife, his partner, to bring her to the place that she understands that he needs help, and not she might be thinking that she needs help, or that he thinks that she needs help. But actually, the bottom line of it is he needs help. He's reached out. He's thought that he's in a place that he doesn't want to be there anymore. He wants to change something. He wants to make it better. And I would say she's so lucky, his wife or his partner, that he actually wants to make it better instead of running away. Because 36% of the world, they get divorced. Instead of fighting for their relationship.
I think it's about 50 now.
I mean, it's horrible.
It's becoming so much easier, and it's really interesting. It's in our age group, because you bought the house, the kids have grown up, and then you look at each other and you go, and you are who?
Is this all I have to look forward to?
And it's like, and then it's like, well, do you love each other? And they go, of course. And it's really interesting. So, and I know that I was there too. I was there too. And I knew that deep inside I loved him, but there was just something that was missing.
Yeah.
And I still love him, but I love him differently. So, when you spend 20 years with somebody, there is a deep connection.
Yeah.
But once the anger and the resentment and, all the stuff that I had, and once I let it go, and once I learned how to deal with that, and I realized that a lot of the anger and resentment wasn't towards him, it was towards me. Because I allowed myself to give up on things that were important to me, because I thought it might please him, but it didn't please him. Because I didn't speak his love language, right? That's a really, that's a really huge thing at the moment that keeps on popping up left, right, and center. The 5 love languages. Right. God bless this guy Chapman who wrote that book. And I listened to a podcast the other day that he was on Oprah. And I'll tell you what, I learned so much from it. I got the book, I use it, I've done the questionnaire, I get my clients to do the questionnaire and all of that. And then he just gave like one golden nugget, and I went, oh my God, did you know, Alexa, you know the 5 love languages, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's for the people in the crowd who don't know.
Okay, so there's 5, love languages, and this Chapman, what's his name?
I'll put it in later, and I'll put it in the link so that people can look at the book themselves.
I can't. Okay, I thought I had the book here, but I don't. I can't remember his first name, but it's something Chapman, right? And the 5 love languages is acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, touch, and gifts. So people like to be loved in these 5 different ways. And he came up with this, based on the tens of thousands of people that he worked with over a 30-year relationship coaching business that he had, right? And he said he woke up one day and he kind of went, hang on, people keep coming in and saying, I don't feel loved. So he decided to go back to his notes, and he came up with, overall, back and forth, in all these years, there were 5 things that people were talking about. And he created the book. And actually the book now, every single year, is in the top sellers list, and it's getting more sales than the year before and the year before and the year before. Each year it increases. So it just shows how people want to be educated in love. They want to understand what love is. And this whole 5, and I incorporated it in my coaching now. And it's one of the things that I do. I say, go to the link, do the questionnaire. If you're single, well, do it on your own. So at least you understand your own love language. So next time you meet somebody, you know what to ask for. But if you're a couple, do it together and then talk about it. So it's a start for communication. Start communicating. But you need to have an exercise, because you don't know how to communicate. So at least you have something to talk about that is close to your heart, right? So what he said is, like, for example, if acts of service is your number 1 love language, but mine is the last one, then it's the least interested. I'm not interested to know about it. I'm not really doing it. Really, it's not. So he said, if that's the case, you guys got to work just a little bit more to really, really, really understand what that means, so you can bring it together. And I went, whoa, I didn't even think of that, right? So there's so many little things that you can shift. So I know that you constantly educate yourself about marketing and finance, and I constantly educate myself in relationships, and more and more and more. And how's this? Let me lift up what I've got on my desk right now that I have been looking at today. So this is a notebook from Date with Destiny.
Ah.
So it's 1 year since I did that Date with Destiny, and so many things changed for me.
Yeah,
And
people don't know Date with Destiny is one of Tony Robbins' flagship programs. 5 day, 6-day program?
6 days. And in it, he has one full day about relationships. Oh my God. So he actually said, do you know what shuts down intimacy in a couple? So I'm like, ears are open. I'm going, I want to know. 3 things. So for women, it's called the 3 U's. Feeling unseen, feeling not understood, and feeling unsafe. Right? So the solution is give her attention all the time. But it's not like 24/7, but there's a little bits and pieces. Bring her a coffee, or just say, hey, or just go past and brush your hand. It's attention, because that's what women like, right? Feeling that she's not understood. We got to be present to her all the time, right? Listen, because if you listen, you will actually understand. And then that goes into the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People from Franklin Covey. You might want to put that in the link too.
I will, Covey.
And one of those things, I think
weeks ago, I'll do it again.
A few weeks ago, and I wrote a note that the one that stuck with me out of the 7 habits is seek first to understand and then to be understood. As soon as you understand and you have inquiry about this, what do you mean by that? You pretty much understand, and you don't even have to go, yeah, but because you go, oh, I know where you come from. And then feeling safe, and there's no trust. They need reassurance. So, bring calmness and connectedness to women. Now, for the guys, the reason why because men shut down intimacy too. Everybody thinks that all men want to do is have sex and be intimate. No, they don't.
Having sex and being intimate are 2 different things, Annie.
Sorry?
Having sex and being intimate are not necessarily the same thing.
Yeah, but most people, when they look at the word intimacy, they think about sex. Because intimacy, it's actually a connection. And then a lot of people think just because men are a little bit more physical than women, as soon as you talk intimacy, they go, oh, they want to have sex. Well, actually, they shut down emotionally too, because they really hurt. But they might not show the way we show it, right? So there's 3 C's why the man actually shut down. They get criticized a lot. They feel the feeling of being closed up, and I explain that in a minute, and feeling controlled. So always you're not doing this and this and this and this and this. So you gotta be sincere in your praise towards your man and admire them and appreciate them for what they do. Feeling closed. Women take away from men, most women, not everybody. So I'm generalizing here. But they close down. Guys can't handle that. They can't handle when a woman is closed, right? And I can see some women will say, yeah, but what if he's closed down? Well, you're responsible with who you are, right? And how you behave. So women need to be more open and playful, right? And then being controlled. You can't control a man. They're hunters. They gotta go. Don't control them. Why control them? What for? So you gotta give them some freedom and some love, because they'll come back to you. And when I sat there and I listened to this, I could see, I wish I knew this years and years and years ago and understood it, because I felt unseen. I didn't feel understood, and there was no trust. I felt safe, but I didn't feel trust. But the trust wasn't towards him, it was towards myself. So I learned that. But then I criticized him all the time. I wasn't, I was open and playful. So I wasn't closed. He was closed, but I was trying to control everything, So I could see. So that's how education is so important, that you educate yourself, whether you read books or you go to seminars or you get a coach who can guide you and help you along the way. Because even with reading books, you can read a book and you go, oh, yeah, I relate. But then
when
how
you
do
deal with the
you...
information?
That's right. So books are good as an extra tool. Like if I say to you, okay, let's work on the 5 love languages. So can you please go do the questionnaire, get yourself the book, and then let's talk about it, and then bring them together. And I say, okay, so what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? And I've done this with a couple just recently. But I do this for you. But she wants quality time. She doesn't want you to serve her. But what do you mean? I just did the washing. She doesn't want you to do the washing. She wants you to come home and spend time with her. She can do the washing. Oh, okay. Get the book and read about that. Read about what it means. And then they started communicating. Now, oh my God, they just constantly talking about the love languages and about this and about that. And every time I give them an assessment to do, they go and they do it.
Yeah.
Because now they're starting to realize that it's about them. And then when they're discovering things and they're having breakthroughs about them, next thing, they want to share it with their partner because they love their partner and they're the first person they want to go to. But the start is hard because you want to break through all those walls that have been built.
Yeah.
And the blame and the you and the you and the you.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
So
exciting, Annie. I just feel your energy when you talk about it. It's really amazing.
I love this shit. I love this. I tell you, I am surrounded. You know, I've got all these booklets. Check this out. I've got all these books, you know, all about us. This book was actually written for people that are getting into a relationship to find out what's going on, like here and now, and before us. What did they like before it was them? And then uncomfortable moments. And they got to do the work. This is all questions. And then the absolute truth. Now, that would be difficult for a lot of people to say the absolute truth. You know, like if you meet your partner soon after a breakup, did you think of yourself as being on the rebound? Or if you met your partner after breakup, did you think of yourself as being on a rebound? So things like this actually make you go, how you say, introspective and go, was I? Because I know I fell in love on a rebound, heavy. And when that broke down, that was more painful than the marriage breakdown, because the marriage breakdown was slow over the years. But this one was, bam, I was like, well, it was a rebound love.
Yeah, wow.
You know, so it's really interesting. And then they're all about me, and then why I love you. So I use these things, I look at them and I go, so what can I share with people sometimes? And I look at them and I go, oh, I think that one would be good. Let me get them do that exercise.
It's all about helping whoever you're with find the perspective that works for them, the language that speaks to them. And the more resources that we have as coaches, the more ideas, concepts we've developed, learned about, then we can help people find the right tool, the right perspective, the way that they can build up themselves. Yeah, I think it's really important. But I am going to say something, go back before we close up, is that this guy who turned to you and his wife or partner is not interested yet in doing the coaching, because you're a relationship coach, where relationships start with yourself, you might just better off starting just with him. And as he gets stronger, he works on himself, his relationship with himself, and what his goals are, then he can easily, you know, his energy can attract his partner into the process, not tell her, not control her either, you know, not force her, but attract her, because his energy will change. And as his energy changes and he becomes more, you know, confident, he's going in the right direction, more empowered, she is going to be attracted to that, and she'll probably come into the fold as well. So, you know, if anyone out there wants to start working on themselves, but is waiting on their partner, their friend, their neighbor, their child, or whatever to support them. And you might as well start off getting support by your coach, finding the right coach, get support by your coach, build yourself up to be able to attract the people in your environment into your new energy. And that would be my take on it.
Yeah, he's actually done quite a lot of personal development. He's done quite a bit. But anyway, I mean, I you know, it's fresh, but he's, yeah, I think I actually gave him, I said, why don't you go and do the questionnaire today? Just go. I gave him a bit of homework and I said, and I expect you to send me the response tonight. And he did.
And he did, nice. So
and he said to me, because this would mean a lot to me. So patience, I think it's a virtue, you know, but it's really interesting how in this world, there's always like, there's one that is making, at least he's done the step. And I really believe that if a man makes the step, it's gonna work because he wants it.
Well,
this is my belief anyway. You know,
I'm such optimism.
I'm such a romantic.
I love it.
Actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who makes the step because
as long as someone wants to work on themselves and grow, it's good.
Yeah.
But when you grow, everyone in your environment grows as well. You can't help it. It's the ripple effect.
Yeah, that's right.
So Annie, it was a great call today. I love it. I love relationships. I love the love languages. I guess the word of the day is love. So thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. And I think next week I haven't asked the guest, but I think we might have a guest next week, because next week we're going to talk about something that's very, 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 very dear to your heart.
My heart, yeah, my heart. Wow, and wonderful. So look forward to seeing you next week. We're going to talk about something really interesting. So have a great one.
Should we tell them what it is?
Nope.
No? Surprise?
Nope. Surprise.
It's quite a big one.
Yeah, and it'll be worth your while.
It's quite like not the norm.
Yeah, totally unexpected.
Totally. All right.
So bye.
See you later, Mindy.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.